In light of the information about the weather conditions in the coming period,
unprecedented weather fluctuations characterized by heavy rainfall,
and the expected rise in rainfall levels, and out of concern for your life and safety from any dangers,
a high-level emergency committee has been formed.
When we heard that the storm passed lightly in Benghazi, we expected it to be the same here.
From the floodwaters inundated the streets of Al-Bayda, the capital of the Green Mountain region in Libya.
The city medical center was evacuated of patients due to water ingress and ongoing rain in the city because of Storm Daniel affecting the eastern areas of the country.
I was watching the rainwater and it was red. I got more nervous expecting that there would be a big event.
والله يا معلم شيء لا قوة بعد رقام على القوس يا عرب.
When the first dam collapsed, I heard screams from our neighbors. They were closer to the valley than we were, so we assumed that an electrical short circuit had happened due to the amount of rain. We tried to go down and turn off the electricity, but the electricity was cut off to the entire city. It was 2:40 a.m. The sounds of lightning and thunder were very loud. A few minutes later, the water came up the stairs like a spiral rain that was rising at an unusual speed. My nephew said it felt like someone was pulling his legs as we were climbing the stairs.
والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.
Then the men went out to see what happened outside. Of course, it was pitch black, but with the lightning and the phones, they saw the bodies floating, the furniture, the shops, everything floating in the street. The ambulances were underwater with only the lights visible, and they were telling us not to go out and not to look outside.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
This was until dawn. After that, the water level began to decrease a bit, so we went out to see it. I am an urban planning engineer. I know my city inside out. I saw it as if it were a dream, a ghost town. All the main landmarks of the city were gone. There were no buildings standing. The valley opened up as if it had become a river.
Hurricane Daniel and the damages it caused in Derna and the eastern regions was a major and difficult event.
Of course, as soon as we got down, all the shoes on our feet were torn. We couldn't lift our feet. We found 3 pieces of furniture. Unfortunately, my father was in poor health. He had a fracture, so we had the men carry him on their shoulders. A passing Egyptian helped us lift him with us. Our exit was a tragedy. You see a dead body lying there, a man crying over his mother. Unfortunately, some family booklets were completely closed. A large percentage of the area only has 1 or 2 people remained alive from the same family. We see someone knocking on his house saying the family booklet is closed. There is no one but me. A father crying over his children. Everything we lived through in the previous period, the period of going out to the street, was the same in itself, as if you were in a miniature resurrection, not knowing where you were going. The street I had lived on my whole life was no longer the same. We went to my brothers, thinking their house was intact, but they too were leaving their house as a car had crashed vertically into their home, which was collapsing. Their neighbors welcomed us. and told us to stay for a bit to see how things were before leaving. We went out to our relatives about 300 or 400 meters on foot without shoes on the mud. At that time, my feelings died. I didn't understand. Am I actually on Judgment Day? Is this reality or a dream? I don't know. Even the landmarks were gone, to the point where I would look and say, whose house is this? Whose house is this? I saw one of the neighbors and I wanted to ask him about his mother, but my brother said, Najwa, don't ask anyone. All the neighbors are dead.
As an emergency team from the agency, we've been present since the beginning of the day. In the eastern areas and Derna, we witnessed honestly difficult scenes. However, we tried to provide all the assistance to the locals.
Honestly, from the first day, we noticed the rush of help from brothers from the city of Misrata, from Tripoli, from Benghazi, from every city in Libya. Truly everyone rushed to help, even psychologically. Of course, there were no communications, no electricity, no water. So we lived through days that were very, very, very difficult. But thank God, we Libyans know each other when a tragedy happens to any Libyan brother. So their support for us lifted our spirits a bit, and that of the city.
And there is a difficult issue that we must solve and assist with, because the process does not require waiting. So we entered the Bayda area, which was completely isolated, and we tried to create side passages for families to exit. Indeed, thank God, all parties, the army, everyone present, and the police cooperated. We opened a safe passage and the families left. We managed to enter the Al-Bayda area and were the first company to enter the area. Then we headed straight to Derna, our beloved Derna, which was devastated. But what eased our minds was the massive support. Everyone was heading to help, and we were, part of this massive human force, and the army who witnessed that on the ground.
He realized the extent of the disaster.
We tried every way to help build a bridge in collaboration with the army, connecting east and west, and thank God we were able to participate and contribute even in a small way. But God made it easy for us, and we were able to take part in this process.
Their support was a very, very, very significant moral boost. We felt we were not alone. Our brothers stood by us. I wished it would always be like this, not only in difficult situations, we'd be united, one heart for each other, all of us, not just when a tragedy or a difficult situation occurs to remember my brother. I hope it continues at all times, and may God protect us, the Libyans, as we all care for each other at all times.